Alright, so moving on to events. So events are very much like delegates. The difference is that they can only be triggered within their own class, and other scripts can only subscribe or unsubscribe. Also, other scripts cannot trigger the event, and they can't alter the subscription from other classes. Events basically prevent other scripts from resetting the delegate. So I've got this new scene here set up, and I've got a player, I've got this score text, I've got this goal trigger, and then I have these fans right here, these observers. So what we have on the player capsule is this player 3 script, and then on the goal there's nothing. It's just a trigger. On the canvas, on the score text, we have a goal text script, and on these observers we have an observer 3 script. So let's start off with the capsule script, the player 3 script. All right, so we have to, when we're setting up events, we have to set up the delegate, and then we have to set it up as a static public event. So the delegate signature also has to be public, and the return type on this one is void. So we have a public delegate void, my delegate 3, and then we instance the event. So it's a public static event, my delegate 3. So once that's set up, we have that event being triggered here, and this is the shorthand for checking if it's null. So void on trigger. So when it enters a trigger, it triggers or invokes the on goal event. Now there's nothing to subscribe to it here, but in the goal text and also the observer, they're both subscribed. So let's go look at the goal text first. So the goal text has a reference to the text from the Text Mesh Pro, and then I have a increment score method here. What that does is it increments the score, and then it updates the text with the score. And here we have the subscription to the on goal event. So increment score, this method is subscribed to on goal event. So when on goal event is triggered, it will also trigger this increment score. And I also need to add a disable. We have on this on disable method, we have to unsubscribe from on goal. So this observer 3, when the on goal event is triggered, it makes these observer objects cheer. They basically just jump up. And I'm just going to add a force in the up direction. And on enable, we're going to subscribe to the on goal event. So the cheer is subscribed to the on goal event, and then we have an on disable. And that's basically the setup. So let's see it in action. Press play. And we have the text here. These are the observers. This is the goal area. And every time I enter the trigger, score goes up and everybody jumps. All right, so that's the event. So now we're going to try to recreate that. I'm going to keep this kind of simple, and we're just going to edit the scripts. So let's basically redo the script. So let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. And everything else can stay. The goal text. We'll just get rid of this part and this part. The observers. Let's get rid of this part. So basically anything to do with the event, we're going to try to recreate on our own. All right. So the first thing we need to do is define the delegate signature. And if it's going to be a delegate event, it needs to be public. So public delegate. Delegate 4. And we have to include the return type, public delegate, my delegate 4. We have an error. So what did I do wrong here? So let's go back here. Void my delegate 4. And then once we do that, we need to create the event. So public static my delegate 4 and on event. No, let's just call this on goal. Okay. So this is basically a delegate. Now to make it an event, just add the event keyword. And what this is going to do is when we enter the trigger, going to invoke on goal, the on goal event. So to do that, do on goal. We'll do the shortcut to check if it's null, and then on goal invoke. All right. So when it hits the trigger, it will invoke the on goal. So we want goal text and observer to subscribe to on goal. So we have on enable. So our method here that we'll be subscribing is increment score. Increment score. But actually we have to start with the event. And the event is on the player 3 script. So player 3 script dot on goal. And that's going to be increment score. It's going to subscribe to that. And then we need to unsubscribe in the on disable method. Okay, so that's set up. So when on goal gets triggered, the increment score will happen. So let's go to observers, and we have this cheer method where it makes them jump up. And all we need to do here is also subscribe that to the on goal event. So first we reference the on goal, and then we subscribe to it, cheer, and then we unsubscribe on the on disable. All right, and let's see how that goes. All right, it works. Well, let's try one more thing. We'll have one more thing subscribe to the on goal event. Okay, so let's keep it simple. What we're going to have it do is we're going to have some text appear that says goal. And then the text will disappear. So first thing we need to do is create the text. So let's go to the canvas. We'll add another text mesh pro. We'll just have it say goal. Okay, and we'll auto size that and let's place it. Make it a little bigger. Okay. So it should be disabled to begin with. And then when we score, it'll turn on, and then it'll turn right back off. So we should add a script to the canvas. New script. Let's call this goal script. Okay, so open that. All right, so we need a reference to that this goal right here that we can enable and disable. So public game object goal. Let's call that goal text. Okay. And then start goal text. Okay, I had to look that up, and this is what I found. So goal text equals parent object. Parent object is this, that transformed, that get child, and it is the second child. So it'd be index1 dot game object, and then we don't need that. Okay, and so set up a method to turn on the goal text. Goal text dot set active true. And let's do a method to turn off the text. And so that would be goal text dot set active false. Okay. And what we need to do is invoke this after, let's say, a second. Turn off texts. Let's give it a second. Oh, gotta put that in quotes. Okay, so this will set the goal text to true, and then it's going to invoke this, the turn off text, which will turn off the text in 1 second. So we need to subscribe to this. Subscribe to the event. So the event is on goal. So void on enable. Player script 3 that on goal plus equals score text. And then we just need to disable that also. There we go. All right, so this should work. When they score, we should see the goal text flash on for a second. Oh, there it works. All right, so this is a Unity event using delegates. We have here is the delegate created on this script, this player 3 script on the capsule, so that whenever it enters this trigger, it gets called. And when that gets called, everything that's subscribed to it, all these other functions also get called. And so these over here, they jump because they're subscribed. The score text is updated because it's subscribed. And then this goal text is set to active. And then it turns itself off after because it's also subscribed. Let's look at that in the scripts. So this is us setting up the event. This is us triggering the event. And then this is the goal text where we subscribe to it with this increment score method. And on these observers, we subscribe to it with the cheer method. And on this goal script, we have this score text method that is also subscribed to it. All right, very cool. Now this is a fairly simple example of an event. I don't have anything being returned. I also don't have any parameters or arguments. Maybe in the future video I'll try to do that. But for now, we have our events working, and hope that helped.